Hello and welcome again on the page, the French. The French is Speak English with the little English box. So I haven't been on live for a couple of weeks, I think. And today is August the 2nd, so it's basically the month where everyone is going on holiday. So most of my students are on holiday, and I've decided to do a live every day for the month of August, and I will try to give you some tips, give you some vocabulary and things that you can use to travel, so you can watch those videos while you are traveling and continue to practice English and using it during your travel. So here in this video we are talking about how to understand a menu when you go to the restaurant during your trip. So this is something which has become a little bit scary when you learn English and you go in a country where you don't know the language. Doesn't have to be English all the time. Like, I remember I traveled to Greece, and when you see the menu in Greek, you feel like, okay, I'll just pick anything that comes to my mind, or I'll just pick something because I don't understand a word. So the first thing to do is actually to ask if you can get a menu in English. If you're in a non-English speaking country, then it's best to get a menu in English. I don't know, if you go to China, for example, you won't be able to understand. So unfortunately, it will not always be possible. So I will just give you the tips to in the situation where you have a menu in English. Otherwise, you'll have to deal with the local language, which is not always something easy. I totally understand. So I first recommend to go into local restaurants. And if you don't have a menu in English, then you can still ask the waiter or the waitress, which is the person who comes with the drinks and all that, to translate for you or to explain some of the words or to explain the local dishes. But I think the best way to actually get ready for this kind of situation is really to know in advance what type of products, what type of ingredients you like and you don't like. And make a list in English before you go. Keep this with you on your phone. You can use the note apps on your phone, or you can have a paper, a minute book, anything that you like to use. But I think it's important to get ready in advance and to prepare with a list of things that you like and don't like in English, so that you know already, if you just look at the menu and see the ingredients and you see one or two ingredients that you love, then you can take this one. Or same, if there are one or two ingredients that you don't like, then don't take this dish. So it kind of helps you to select a little bit more, even if you don't understand all the words. If you don't understand the whole thing, then you will understand at least that there are some ingredients that you like and some that you don't like. And it will really help you to select the kind of food that you want to eat. Number 2 is also another list, but you have to make a list of the local dishes, the local things that you want to try. What I do personally when I prepare a trip, I kind of look on books or online or on Pinterest or on Instagram, whatever you want to use, and I kind of look in advance at the type of things that I would love to try, which are very local. So I write down the name and I know I have to try this. So if you know in advance that this is the type of things which are local and that you want to try, then if you prepare that in advance, you won't get surprised and you will be able to try what you want to try. You can get recommendations from people on TripAdvisor, for example, or just in the local area where you are. If you're staying in a hotel, you can go to the reception and say, can you please tell me what is the local dish that you recommend to try? And my last tip of the day for the restaurant would be if there's no ingredient that you like, no ingredient that you don't like, and it's not a local dish, then you kind of lost. You have nothing to help you. Seriously, if you don't have the 3 of them, I don't know what type of food you're going to eat. But the last solution would be using Google Image. Because if you just put the name, then you don't need a dictionary. Obviously, you need a connection. But now in, let's say, 80-90% of the restaurants, you have a Wi-Fi connection. And if you're in Europe and you have a free, called Free, the company Free, on your phone, then you always have access to internet. So use the Wi-Fi, but that's the solution. If you have Wi-Fi, it's really to use Google Image, because it's in 2 seconds you see the dish or you see the ingredients and then you know what it is. And you didn't use the French, or you didn't use your native language to actually understand the word, and you will remember it better. And my final advice is really asking and talking to people, asking them, what is this ingredient? Is it good? Does it provoke allergies? If you're allergic to anything, that's super important. If you're allergic to anything and you travel on your own without a guide, and you go to restaurant for lunch and dinner, then it's super important to do what I told you before, to make the list of the things that you're allergic to or the things that you don't like. It's the same, but you have to know in advance what type of ingredients you're not supposed to eat because you're allergic to it. I think it's even more important than getting ready to know what you're going to eat. And why not making also the list in the local language? Like if you're going to Greece and you're not sure to get the menu in English, then why don't you try to find the equivalent in Greek to make sure you're going to try this one, or to make sure you will never try this one. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, and if you're not on the live lesson, do not hesitate to write down in comments below. I'll be very happy to answer to you. Have you ever had any problems in a restaurant trying to understand a menu and you kind of got stuck somewhere and you just couldn't take any food, and you just picked one and choose like this, like without really knowing what you were doing or what you were going to eat, and you had like a big surprise when you got your plate on your table? Yes, do not hesitate to share your experience, anything that happened to you when you traveled, or any fear that you might have before traveling. So remember, I'm really going to try to publish a live video every day on this page, so turn on the notifications to be notified when I start a live lesson, so you can ask me questions in direct and I can answer directly on the video, and that's much more fun than just commenting and writing, and that's a good way for you to practice listening at the same time. Right, so I wish you a great day. Have a nice, no, I was going to say have a nice lunch, but it's 3 o'clock, so no. Have a nice dinner tonight, and if you're traveling, enjoy your trip. Bye.